Allow me to introduce our speaker for today. Our speaker is a registered nutritionist dietitian who aims to empower Filipino adults towards a healthy, productive, and happier lives through evidence-based nutrition management and education. She has a bachelor's degree in community nutrition and MS degree in clinical nutrition with 15 years of professional experience in food service, hospital, fitness, sports nutrition, academe, and private practice. Aside from being a nutrition coach, she is also a teacher shaping future nutrition professionals. Let us all welcome our research speaker for today, Ms. Mary Grace Banal, RND.
Thank you, Miss Jess, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. Hello po. Let me share my screen lang. Ayan. Can you see my screen po?
Yes, Ms. Grace.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So, na-mention kanina ni Miss Jess no, that I am a registered nutritionist dietitian. And oftentimes I do nutrition consultation, nutrition counseling, and nutrition coaching. So siguro for today's session, I would like to put on my nutrition coach hat kasi it's, kumbaga yun yung comfort zone ko. I'm not really that fully comfortable with public speaking, although I do this a lot. But siguro for some of you who might be curious, ano nga ba yung coaching? Anong difference niya sa consultation? So, with nutrition consultation, di ba, parang pag nagpapakonsult tayo sa doctor, we ask the doctor questions and then we are provided with advice, recommendations. But with coaching, with what I do, I also do similar sa nutrition consultation. But with coaching, I'm the one who asks you questions and then you give feedback, you reflect on your experience. Then I do follow-up questions. Kasi my purpose is to facilitate your thought process into developing healthy eating habits. Kasi, di ba, oftentimes our behavior stems from our attitudes and our attitudes stem from our knowledge. Kumbaga parang it's all in the mind or started in the mind. And good thing is, yung topic nga natin for today is mindful eating, particularly mindful snacking. So, allow me to put on my coaching hat and let's dive into how to manage our cravings with mindful snacking. Okay lang po ba? Ayun. So, to start with, I'd like to ask my first question for today's video. So, I want to ask this question, and please feel free to type in the chat box your answers. Ayan. What snack are you craving for right now? So please comment your answers in the chat box. If you're not craving for something in particular, ayan, meron na nag-comment, chocolate, lasagna, okay. Ice cream, okay. What else? Donuts, ayan. Thank you for your responses. So for some of you na baka kaka-breakfast lang, hindi pa talaga nag-crave for something, you can think of, the food that you usually crave for when you're hungry or kapag medyo hapon na at usually nagme-merienda tayo. Ayan. Thank you for your responses. Ayan. So, tandaan niyo po yung mga sagot niyo, tandaan niyo po yung mga naiisip niyo kasi babalikan natin mamaya during our discussion on mindful eating or mindful snacking exercises. Pasta, wow! Taho and banana cue. Okay. Thank you po. Thank you for all your responses. Now, I want you to keep your cravings in mind. Okay? Kasi gagamitin natin yan mamaya sa exercise. So as you think about these foods that you are craving for, diba? Habang inuungkat nyo, ano nga ba yung mga kinikrave nyo usually na mga pagkain or ng mga snack? How do you feel? Diba? Pag naisip nyo agad, halimbawa chocolate, or because I asked you that question, na-trigger kayo, parang gusto ko ng chocolate ngayon. Do you feel like getting up and grab that snack? Kung halimbawa, nandun siya sa kitchen, nasa ref, or pag naisip nyo yun at meron kayo noon sa desk nyo, do you feel like opening your desk and grabbing that snack? Or kung katulad ko kayo na I would often open the food delivery app on my phone and mag-scroll na ako agad kung may promo. And then next thing you know, nasa baba na, tumatawag na yung food delivery rider. And also, have you noticed na there are times that we crave for something sweet? Katulad nga kanina, may nagsabi may banana cue. And sometimes, do you notice that you crave for something salty or something crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, tapos merong dip? And as you think about these foods, as you think about your cravings, have you noticed how do you feel? Do you feel excited? Do you feel happy or comforted? Or sometimes, do you feel guilty? Diba? Kasi oftentimes naririnig ko sa mga clients ko, they associate these foods with guilt. Kaya nga sila sugod for a consultation or for a coaching session kasi they feel guilty whenever they eat this type of food. So my goal for today's session is to help us understand and perhaps appreciate and apply mindful snacking in the hopes of helping you achieve an overall healthy diet. And we will do this by exploring 3 main topics. So let's start. We will start with the problem with emotional eating. And then we will position mindful eating as a possible solution to the problems of emotional eating. And then we will take action by practicing how to address the problem of emotional eating by mindful snacking through our mindful snacking exercises later on. So let's start with the problem, no? So let's start. Usually yung problem starts with the emotional eating. So ano nga ba yung emotional eating? So emotional eating from the term itself, it's when we use food to cope with emotions, diba? Rather than satisfying hunger. Because biologically, kumakain tayo when we feel hungry, diba? It's our body's way of telling us that it needs nutrients. But with emotional eating, kumbaga umaangkor tayo dun sa happy memories or positive experiences that we have with food to cope with the negative experiences that we are having at the moment. And usually we experience emotional eating kapag when we feel stressed, when we feel sad, when we are angry, ano pa ba? Even joy. So ano pa ba? Sino pa ba yung mga characters, mga bagong characters sa Inside Out? Si Fear, meron pa ba? Sino pa to? Si Embarrassment, Envy. So yung mga yan, boredom. So whenever we experience those are the times that we tend to lean on towards eating this food that we are craving for. So kung tutuusin ko titingnan natin, parang hindi siya dapat problematic. Kasi di ba parang we use the food, it's our vehicle to feel better. However, emotional eating has its implications sa health natin. Emotional eating often results in choosing less nutritious foods or less nutritious snacks. And it could lead to overeating. Kasi nga when we are eating mindlessly, hindi natin namalayan na ubos na natin yung isang pack ng chips, na ubos natin yung isang karton ng pizza. And that choosing less nutritious foods and overeating may lead to obesity. And ultimately, when we gain weight because of this habit, the next time that we eat something, we tend to feel guilty or sometimes we feel unsatisfied. And among people with mental health problems, emotional eating is associated with increased depressive symptoms and psychological distress. So that's why we have to address emotional eating. And one of the strategies is to use mindfulness. And recently, mindfulness emerged as a solution to emotional eating. It's being used frequently to address or to promote healthy eating. But mindfulness, kung tutuusin, hindi na ito talaga bago kasi nag-start siya sa Buddhism. Ba? Ang Buddhism, I think, mas matanda pa ito sa Christianity. So mindfulness has its origins in Buddhist teachings, but it's only recently, starting 1970s, na ginamit siya as part of interventions, particularly for mental health disorders or mental health problems. And recently, dahil nga medyo tumataas na yung prevalence ng mga lifestyle diseases na nag-i-stem from our eating habits, ginagamit na rin siya yung mindfulness in the context of eating or in the context of diet. Now, bubulat-latin natin, ano nga ba yung mindful eating? So, start natin with the mindfulness. Mindfulness is a set of practices that has three components: the present moment awareness, acceptance, and discernment. The present moment awareness in mindfulness, it is the practice of focusing your attention to your current experience. So, dapat hindi tayo nag-multitasking. Kung ano lang yung nangyayari right here, And right now, we focus our attention to that, and we don't preoccupy ourselves with the past, or we avoid being anxious about the future. So it's all about what's happening right here and right now. Acceptance naman means you embrace your thoughts, your emotions, your bodily sensations and experience happening right now without trying to change them, without trying to resist them, or without trying to judge them. So the difference with the non-acceptance, the present moment awareness is, in the present moment awareness, it's the act of paying attention to what's happening right now. Yung acceptance naman is your attitude towards what is happening right here, right now. So with the acceptance, you just accept and acknowledge whatever it is that you're experiencing at the moment, na knowing na you don't need to react to it. And the third component of mindfulness is decentering. So it's the process naman of distancing yourself or stepping back from your mental experiences, from your thoughts. Kasi kung nasa isip mo pa lang naman ka, it's not yet your identity. It may not be the truth, di ba? Parang clouds lang, di ba? Pag tumitingin tayo sa langit, tumitingin tayo sa clouds, parang nakikita na natin yung clouds, dumadaan lang. Pero hindi naman natin parang tinatry na tigilin yung pagdaan ng clouds kasi we are separate from the clouds. Parang ganon. So in decentering, you just view your thoughts as transient, temporary mental experiences, and therefore, you don't need to act on your thoughts immediately. So those are the three components or set of practices in mindfulness. Now, if we apply that in the context of eating, mindful eating is now the application of those three components of mindfulness for the purpose of improving our eating habits. So, isa-isahin natin ulit yung three components na yun. Sa present moment awareness, you pay attention to the sensory properties of the food. So, you pay attention to the sight, to the smell, to the taste, to the texture, to the color, or even the temperature of the food that you are eating or that you are about to eat. Present moment awareness can also be applied to your internal bodily sensation, meaning you are fully aware that you are hungry, you are fully aware that you are already full, or you are also aware that how you feel after eating, di ba? Sometimes, pagkatapos natin kumain, parang inaantok tayo, o kaya parang bumababa yung energy levels natin after kumain. So you're also fully aware of that. And number 3 is, with present moment awareness, you also notice the cues or triggers. Ano yung mga trigger kung bakit ka napakain or bakit ka nag-crave ng certain food. So example ng trigger is, halimbawa may pagkain na nasa table, di ba? May bag of chips na nasa table, malamang usually yun yung kakainin natin kasi it's just within arm's reach. O kaya habang nag-scroll tayo sa social media, may nakita tayong nagmukbang, mga food vlogger, and kaya tayo na-weigh ang ating appetite natin at gusto nating kainin yung kinain nila. Kasi di ba kung minsan yung mga food vloggers, parang ang sarap nilang panoorin kumain. So nati-trigger tayo na kumain din ang mga kinakain nila. So with the present moment awareness, you are aware of what triggered you to eat. Now with the acceptance naman, acceptance of your cravings and acceptance of your food-related thoughts, you take a non-judgmental stance towards your cravings. Ano ibig sabihin nito? You just observe and explore your cravings without necessarily trying to react to them and without necessarily trying to control them or resist them. So kaya nga acceptance, di ba? You accept that cravings are a normal part of being human. Okay? And that cravings are just the thought process. It will pass. And the third component is decentering. So decentering from your cravings and decentering from your food-related thoughts. It means that you view your cravings as something, as just mental events that are separate from yourself. So, parang balikan natin yung analogy sa cloud kanina, di ba? You watch your thought, you watch your cravings, or you watch your food-related thoughts go by and without necessarily engaging with it. Kasi di ba sometimes, yung knee-jerk reaction natin kapag meron tayong cravings, pag pag naglalaway na tayo at gusto nating kumain lang sa kanya or ng chocolate, yung knee-jerk reaction natin is we have to do something about it. Kailangan nating tumayo at pumunta sa kitchen. Or kailangan nating umorder ng pagkain. Or kailangan nating lumabas at bumili ng pagkain. But with the decentering and acceptance, hanggang dun lang, you just accept and you recognize that it will pass. Okay? So now, para mas fully understand natin and ma-apply ang mindfulness in the hopes of improving our snacking habits, let's do mindful snacking exercises. Okay ba yon? Practice natin yung 3 components na to. Game po ba? Can I see a thumbs up? Ayan, thank you po sa mga nag-react ng thumbs up. Ayan, alright, thank you. So let's start with mindful snacking exercise number 1. So this is an exercise on acceptance. So I want you to think again of the food that you are craving for. Yung mga naisip nyo kanina. Or yung food that you usually crave for. Or kung hindi naman kayo nag-crave at the moment, imagine yourself how you felt the last time you had a craving. So the next time that you experience this, the next time that you have a particular craving for a particular food, I want you to pause, maybe close your eyes, and take a deep breath. So inhale, exhale. Ayan. And then, identify where the craving is coming from. Nagagaling ba siya sa tiyan mo? Kasi gutom ka nga naman kasi talaga. Or nanggagaling siya sa dila mo, sa mouth mo, kasi naghahanap ka lang ng specific na lasa, matamis, cheesy, something moist, kasi nga naumay ka dun sa kinain mo kaninang agahan, kaninang tanghalian. So you identify saan nga ba nagmumula, saan nanggagaling yung craving. Or maybe you also identify what triggered you to eat. And then the third step is to just accept your craving as it is without judging yourself for it. So halimbawa, you tell yourself, I'm having a thought, parang nag-iisip ako, gusto kong kumain ng cookies. Parang gusto kong kumain ng donut kasi inaantok ako at gusto ko pagkape. Dapat may kasamang donut. So, you just accept that it's normal. Kasi valid naman. Kasi pwede inaantok ka, nabobore ka, gusto mo ng kape, and you want donuts to go with it. So you accept that it's okay to have that thought, it's okay to have that craving, and it's normal, and it will pass. So do that for 10 minutes. In the interest of time, hindi po natin uubusin yung 10 minutes na yon. But you take the time, around 10 minutes, to do that. You pause, you breathe, identify where the craving is coming from, and then you just accept that it's just a thought. It's normal. And then again, after that, after 10 minutes, if nandun pa rin yung cravings, again, you take a few deep breaths and allow the craving to be present for about 10 to 20 minutes without acting on that craving, without doing anything yet with regards to your cravings. And then after siguro mga 10 to 20 minutes, you reflect. Am I actually hungry? Gutom pa nga ba talaga ako? Or baka naman, yun nga, na-trigger ka lang kasi may nakita ka, may naamoy ka, or may nakita ka sa social media, kaya na-trigger yung cravings mo. And then, you just accept it hanggang doon lang. So that's a simple exercise for acceptance in mindfulness. You take the time, 10 to 20 minutes to be exact, to acknowledge your cravings without judgment. Diba? Parang we stop there and hindi tayo magpo-proceed dun sa knee-jerk reaction natin na kailangan natin i-alleviate agad yung cravings natin. Studies show, may mga studies na naginawa with regards to mindful snacking. And ang ginawa ng mga researchers is may control group na hindi nag-practice ng this mindful snacking exercise. And then the other group naman, yung intervention group, sila yung gumawa or nag-practice na itong exercise na to. And then after that, they did the mindful snacking exercise for 20 minutes. And then after that, they were offered with a plate of cookies. The results of the study is that kumain pa rin naman sila pareho ng cookies. But those who practice mindful snacking exercise, this particular exercise, they ate fewer cookies than those who did not. So in a sense, this exercise not to really stop you from allowing yourself to eat, but rather be more mindful so that na-achieve natin yung isa sa mga tenets of a healthy diet, which is moderation, di ba? So instead na mindlessly na ubos natin yung isang pack ng cookies, because we are being mindful, kasi parang pinadaan natin yung 20 minutes being mindful of our cravings, pwedeng half lang ng pack or hindi natin naubos lahat. We were only able to eat yung allowed na serving portion na kailangan nito. Okay? So this is an exercise for the acceptance aspect of mindful eating. Now, if hindi po nag-work sa inyo itong exercise na to, we can try the second exercise, which is an exercise on decentering naman. So, decentering, you step back from the craving. So, let's start again. By thinking about your craving, we simulate that moment na nagka-crave tayo. And then we start again by pausing and taking a deep breath. So inhale ulit and exhale. And then next, you just recognize that that craving is just a thought in your mind. Iniisip mo pa lang siya. At dahil iniisip mo pa lang siya, still just in your mind, nobody is commanding you, nobody is forcing you to act on it immediately. So it's just a thought pa lang siya. So no need to act on it right now. So you remind yourself that you are a separate, you take a stance away, parang you view yourself separate from your cravings. Hindi mo siya identity, hindi mo siya parang it's not yet a command that you need to act. So you do that again for around 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, you reassess or you reflect if the craving is still there or baka naman na-diminish na. So if the craving is still there, you take another 10 minutes and do the same exercise. You remind yourself that hindi ka dinidiktahan ng cravings mo to alleviate or to pacify your cravings. So after 10 minutes, so meron ng una 10 minutes and then 20 minutes, so total 10 minutes. So a total of 20 minutes, you reassess if you still want the snack. So going back, kung maalala nyo yung exercise kanina sa acceptance, you assess, di ba, kung saan nanggagaling yung craving. Kung nanggagaling ba siya sa tiyan mo, gutom ka ba talaga? Kasi kapag gutom ka talaga, then that's the time that you really need to allow yourself to eat. Okay? Which is yun yung gagawin natin sa third exercise. Now, this particular exercise, exercise number 2, is an exercise on decentering. So you see your craving, as separate from you, and it's not something that you need to act on. Now, if you're really hungry at hindi nag-work sa inyo yung exercise number 1 and exercise number 2, then we will now resort to exercise number 3. Ano ulit yung isa pa? Kanina, decentering, acceptance. Ano yung pang-isang component of mindfulness? Let's see if you remember yung isa pa. Anyone? Ayan, thank you po, Ma'am Veronica. Ayan, thank you, Ma'am Doris. So, present moment awareness. So, this is the moment na you allow yourself to eat what you are craving for, but we will do it mindfully. So, imagine yourself, finally, nasa harap nyo na yung pagkain that you are craving for. So before you eat, you engage your senses first. So before you eat, you appreciate, take time to look at the color, the shape, the texture, or the aroma of the food that you are about to eat. And then, after that, saka pa lang tayo kakagat. But when we take a bite, wag muna nating nguyain agad. Kagat lang muna. But as we bite, we take time again to notice the texture, the flavor as we bite. And then after that, that's the time that we chew. So when we chew slowly. Again, we do it mindfully, di ba? Kasi sometimes, halimbawa pag kumakain tayo ng mani o kaya ng fries, parang nasanay na tayo na subo lang ng subo at ang cue lang natin na mag-stop ay kapag naubos na natin yung nandun na hawak-hawak natin. O what if large fries yun? Diba? So hindi tayo titigil hanggat hindi nauubos. And we often do that when we are snacking mindlessly. But with mindful snacking, particularly sa present moment awareness, we chew slowly and we pay attention to the taste, the texture, and the changes in temperature as we chew. So, halimbawa, kanina may nagsabing ice cream. Di ba? Pagka subo natin ng ice cream, malamig pa. Pero habang nag-i-stay siya sa mouth natin, na parang nagiging, ano na siya, parang nagiging room temperature or close to body temperature na. So, you notice those things, those changes in your mouth. And then, saka natin siya lulunukin. So, after swallowing that first bite, you pause, and then again, you reflect on the experience. How did it taste? How did you feel? After one bite, do you feel satisfied? Or hindi pa? And most of the time, di ba, parang isang kagat pa lang, hindi pa tayo nasa-satisfy. Actually, mas na ano nga tayo parang mas ginaganahan tayong kumain. So if you want to eat more, then allow yourself to eat more. But you still follow yung exercises natin on eating mindfully. So you look at how the food is presented, take a bite, and then you chew and chew slowly. So this is an exercise on the present moment awareness. So parang it's a mindful eating meditation. Para kang nagme-meditate while you are eating. So you slow down the rate of eating. Because again, if you've noticed, a lot of the reasons kung bakit a lot of people, parang mas madali sa ating mag-develop ng unhealthy eating habits is because of our fast-paced lifestyle. Wala na tayong oras magluto. Wala na tayong oras mag-plan ng meals natin. Wala din tayong oras kumain to the point na habang kumakain tayo, nasa cellphone tayo or nag-work tayo. So, hindi na natin napapractice yung mindful eating or mindful snacking. And this mindful snacking exercise, number 3, the present moment awareness, na-apply natin to not just on, eating food that usually we feel guilty of. We can also apply this when we are trying to introduce new foods sa diet natin, particularly the more nutritious ones. So halimbawa, vegetable sticks dipped in hummus, for example. Hindi tayo sanay or hindi natin kinasanayan kumain nun, but we want to introduce it or we want to try it. So we can do this so that we get to appreciate, 'di ba? Na parang sa isip natin, baka hindi masarap, but when we eat it mindfully, baka mas ma-appreciate natin yung flavor, yung crunch ng vegetables, yung umami, yung flavor ng hummus, for example. And oftentimes sa mga client ko, when I tell them to do this, kasi halimbawa meron ako recommendation that they eat more vegetables for particular meals, or halimbawa they eat fruits during snack, and they practice this, usually sa mga susunod na sessions namin, sinasabi nila, masarap pala yung ganito, masarap pala yung Brussels sprouts na nabili sa SNR kasi mura, masarap pala yung ganitong snack. Because it is only that time that they were being mindful of what they are eating. So you can do this. You can try this mindful snacking exercise. Start with the easier ones, yung hanggang sa isip lang muna natin, yung exercise and acceptance and decentering. And then when all else fails, we'll try the exercise number 3, which is the present moment awareness. And speaking of healthy snack, I think I was asked by Ms. Jess to also discuss healthy snack alternatives. But I'd like to propose a different approach. Kasi if I give you a list of healthy snacks alternative, limited yung list. So instead of that, maybe I will discuss what makes a snack healthy. And also address yung mindset that we have towards snacking. So instead of calling it as a healthy snack, I think it's better if we call it nutritious snack. Kasi yung the word healthy, dahil sa ang dami na ding mga nababasa natin sa social media, medyo nagiging vague na yung concept of healthy, di ba? For some people, for them, healthy means no sugar. For other people, healthy means low carbohydrate or no carbohydrate at all. For other people, healthy means pure protein. So instead of thinking about healthy snack, let's label it as nutritious snack. Kasi yung nutritious snack, it contains the nutrients that we need to support an overall good health, diba? So let's start at that. So ano nga ba ibig sabihin ng nutritious snack? So from a dietitian's perspective, this is what I usually look for. Ito yung mga nutrients na hinahanap ko or I prefer for nutritious snacks. Fiber, protein, and antioxidants. So fiber, we get this from plant-based foods. Halimbawa, fruits, vegetables. Pag fruits, either dried or pwedeng fresh. Pag vegetables naman, usually in the form of a salad or sticks. Even nuts, pwede din. Root crops, di ba? Sa ating mga Pinoy, kamote, kamote fries, ano pa ba? Ano pa ba yung mga root crops? Ube. Ano pa ba yung mga root crops na meron tayo? Halimbawa sa amin dito sa Eastern Samar, yung taro chips or gaway chips, halimbawa. Balinghoy, oo, of course, cassava cake, di ba? So those foods are rich in fiber. So pwede nating ma-incorporate yung fiber. Halimbawa kapag walang option for fiber during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, then doon natin sa snack pwedeng ma-squeeze yung fiber. Another nutrient is protein. Ayan, so a lot of times in me conducting nutrition assessment, one of the common problems with the diet ng mga Pinoy is medyo mababa sa protein. So, one way that we can increase our protein intake is by incorporating protein-rich foods as snacks. So, protein can come from animal-based, halimbawa, eggs, cheese, dairy products, or plant-based, pwedeng nuts, seeds, or beans. And then the third is antioxidants. So antioxidants or phytonutrients, we get this again from plant-based foods. So yung mga blue purple, halimbawa sa ube, yun yung mga anthocyanins natin. Carotenoids naman for heart health, ito yung mga kulay red, orange, yellow na mga pagkain. And also phenolic acids from nuts. And what else? Flavonoids from fruits and vegetables. So we need these antioxidants to support overall health. Kumbaga, ito yung parang isa sa mga shield natin towards protecting us from lifestyle diseases. And then, of course, snacking is part of a healthy diet. And because of that, we should also follow the 3 tenets of a healthy diet: moderation, balance, and variety. So, ang moderation, ibig sabihin, hindi kulang, hindi sobra in terms of the quantity. Diba? Yung portion size. So, meron tayong preno hanggang kailan, hanggang saan lang yung dami ng kakainin natin. With balance naman, titingnan natin is yung nutrient component or nutrient profile ng kinakain natin. Hindi siya zero carb or very low carb, or hindi naman siya sobrang high in protein or sobrang high in fat. So you have the balance in terms of macronutrients and micronutrients. And then the third one is variety. Variety in terms of sources, may animal-based sources, may plant sources. Meron din in terms of texture, di ba? Sometimes we want crispy, sometimes we want something gooey, or variety in terms of the overall nutrient profile. Sometimes we want nutritious snacks, but also sometimes we are craving for less nutritious snacks. And pwedeng ipasok yon sa an overall nutritious diet kasi nga it helps us sustain an overall healthy eating pattern. And the third one when it comes to snacking is timing. So timing, kasi nga yung snack tinatime natin in between our meals, di ba? Kasi imagine niyo nag-lunch tayo ng 12 noon. And then yung dinner natin, halimbawa, 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. pa. So by the time na magdi-dinner tayo, gutom na tayo. So pag gutom na gutom tayo, ang tendency natin is to eat whatever is available and to eat as much as we can. Napaparami tayo ng kain. And it's difficult for us to practice mindful eating kapag talagang nagkukrok-krok na yung tiyan natin. So that's why we strategically place snacks usually in the afternoon para merong preno, 'di ba? Para na ma-manage natin yung hunger natin. Para pag magdi-dinner tayo, manageable yung hunger natin and we can manage yung appetite. So let me show you a sample meal plan. I hope nakikita niyo to. I posted it on my website. But just to show you a demonstration of the snack in terms of the 3 tenets of a healthy diet. So you can see here sa snack, halimbawa sa Monday, meron dyan a pack of noodles and fresh fruit shake or fresh fruit. So you can see here balance. Kasi di ba noodles, it's high in sodium. So it's not the best for our health, but along with it is fresh fruit and it's rich in potassium. So potassium and sodium parang yang and yang. They balance each other. So para hindi sobrang pangit yung effect ng sodium, nandyan si potassium to control the effects of the sodium sa katawan natin. So that's balance. Yung moderation naman, if you notice, my portion size. Kasi this sample meal plan is set at 2,000 calories per day. So pag kinain mo yung breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, and then meron pang snack before we go to bed, you are assured that more or less you achieve a 2,000 calorie per day. So moderation, ibig sabihin you are able to control your portion size. And then lastly, may variety. Merong something sweet, merong something salty, meron ding something plant-based, halimbawa, peanut butter, meron ding animal-based na butter, yung the usual butter that we eat. So that's how we incorporate a nutritious snack into an overall healthy diet. So I'd like you to remember as well that all snacks regardless of if it's something na oily, fatty, or what else? Yung high in fiber, all snacks can be part of a healthy diet. Kasi sa atin, as Pinoy, parte yan ng culture natin, yung nagmimerienda. I remember meron akong client dati, ginawan ko ng morning snack, afternoon snack, and then bedtime snack. Kaso Italiano siya. And hindi siya makarelate. But for us Filipinos, part na ng culture, part ng diet natin, ang snack. And the Filipino diet for me is the healthiest diet that we can have. So snacks are part of a healthy diet. And I would care more about your overall diet, meaning it involves your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and what you eat during the entire week, rather than nitpicking at the individual foods na kinakain nyo. Sabi nga nila, di ba, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So if I see you kumakain ng chocolate, or if we see someone, or if you see me na kumakain ng chocolate, I hope that we don't take agad yung judgment na, ay, bakit ka kumakain ng chocolate? Di ba dapat, di ba you're trying to lose weight? Or bakit ka kumakain ng chocolate? Di ba dietitian ka? But as long as, hanggat hindi natin nakikita yung overall picture ng diet ng isa, hindi natin agad ma-judge kung healthy yung diet. Whether you are trying to lose weight, whether you are trying to gain muscle, whether you are trying to be physically active, whether you are you have comorbidities, sabi nga ni Doc Queen kanina, either you have high blood sugar or high levels of bad cholesterol in your body, snacks are part of an overall healthy diet. And to recap, we discussed the problems with emotional eating, how it triggers us to eat mindlessly, leading to overeating, weight or fat gain, and dissatisfaction with our bodies, dissatisfaction with our eating habits. And one of the solutions that we can practice easily is by doing mindful eating. So kanina, we practiced the 3 different components of mindful snacking. So can you type sa chat box ano ulit yung 3 exercises na ginawa natin that represents the 3 components of mindfulness? Let's check if natatandaan pa natin. Exercise number 1. That's an exercise on what? What component? Anyone? Acceptance? Yes. Thank you po, Doris. Ayan, Ma'am Nincha. Acceptance, yes. The first one, the exercise number 1 is acceptance. The second exercise, ano yung next exercise natin? Kapag hindi nag-work yung acceptance. Yan, decentering, yes. Decentering. So you recognize your cravings as just the thought that it will pass. The last one, ano yung last? Ito na yung parang exciting na part. Kasi yung i-allow na natin kainin yan, present moment awareness. So we are fully aware of what we are eating, of the experience of eating, and for the purpose of being able to be more purposeful in our snacking habits or eating habits. And for me, this is what snacking with purpose is about. We eat mindful snacks, yung mga more nutritious snacks, to support our physical health. But at the same time, we allow ourselves to eat less nutritious snacks. I labeled it meaningful snacks to support our mental health. Diba? Because our physical health is just as important as our mental health. And remember, I hope that you remember that all snacks can be part of an overall healthy diet. So I hope I was able to help you understand, appreciate, and practice mindful eating, particularly mindful snacking. And I encourage you to practice this the next time that you have a craving. You practice acceptance, diba? You recognize, gutom ka ba talaga or nag-crave ka lang from your thought? And then you practice present moment awareness whenever we eat, particularly when we are snacking. So again, my name is Grace Banal, and thank you so much for your time and for your participation and for your attention. And I am happy to answer any questions that you might.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Grace. It was really an absolute pleasure to have listened to your talk. I really love everything you've shared with us this morning, especially about the mindful exercises. And of course, one of my favorite takeaway is that really we have to recognize our cravings without any judgment because all of our snacks can be part of an overall healthy diet. Okay, but I'm pretty sure our participants have also some comments and questions as well. So let's take a few minutes to discuss the topic. If you have anything you might want to share with us, please share or feel free to leave your message or your questions on the chat box or use the raise hand button. Our speaker will lend us a few minutes to entertain any questions or manifestations that you might have. So just state your name and your organization, university, or institution. Okay? But I think we have one question who have already sent in the Q&A or in the chat box. So Miss Grace, the question is, which do you think is the lesser evil? Is it iced tea or soft drink?
All right. Iced tea or soft drink? I don't think merong lesser evil or more evil sa kanilang dalawa. Kasi yung key ingredient nila, if halimbawa yung iced tea na common na iced tea na ino-order natin sa mga restaurants, yung main ingredient nila is the sugar, di ba? And inherently, hindi naman talaga masama yung sugar by itself, even for people with trying to control their blood sugar. But I don't think, kasi sa iisipin natin, kasi yung soft drink, merong caffeine yun. And so that's iced tea, meron din siyang caffeine. They both have sugar. So in a sense, pantay lang sila. So walang lesser evil, walang more evil. And I hope we try siguro to avoid calling our foods evil kasi pagkain yan, di ba? Grasya yan. Siguro ano na lang, we label it as less nutritious or more nutritious or better option. Alin doon yung better option? Um, so kung kunwari, if we're thinking, so ano na lang pipiliin ko, yung soft drinks or yung iced tea? Eh di mag-rely na lang tayo, ano yung dinidita ng panlasa mo? Are you craving for soft drinks right now? Or are you craving for iced tea right now? Kasi since nutrition-wise, level lang sila. Then, we use our cravings to dictate. But if ang iced tea naman is yung legit na iced tea, yung talagang galing sa ano yon, yung totoong ice, yung binababad, yung sinusok overnight, tapos dinalagyan ng ice the following day and sugar. Siguro I would prefer that because the ice, yung tea contains phytonutrients that may support good health.
Okay, thank you, Miss Grace. Really, we really have to makita po natin yung mga kinakain natin, something nutritious rather than or to approach our food positively. Ayan. So next question, Miss Grace, are cravings a sign of nutrient deficiency?
Our cravings, good question. No, I haven't thought about that before. So based on some discussions, cravings can be, pwede, it can be a sign of, not really a sign of deficiency, but it can also be our body's way of telling us that it needs that particular nutrient na nandun sa pagkain. So halimbawa, di ba, halimbawa lang sa mga kababaihan, especially entering the puberty, or even sometimes pregnant women, di ba? parang meron silang craving for something sour, 'di ba? Parang naghahanap tayo ng something sour. It can be because your body is asking for or trying to get more vitamin C from your diet kasi maybe you might need more iron, or possible that you have iron deficiency, and vitamin C can help enhance iron absorption. That's one of the parang what you call this, justification ng cravings ng mga kababaihan sa mga maasim na mga prutas. But I'm not 100% sure kasi I haven't looked into the evidence supporting that. So if siguro if nakakita ko ng evidence supporting that, then maybe I can create a post about it. But that's just one that's one explanation, and it is possible that our cravings is a manifestation of the pwedeng nutrient deficiency that we are experiencing, or at that moment, di ba, when you are craving for something na mabigat sa tiyan, maybe because your body is looking for something that is rich in protein. Kasi yung protein foods, usually yun yung nararamdaman natin na bigat sa tiyan. Kasi nga, gusto nating makaramdam ng yung busog factor.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Grace. I think that's one thing we could also understand on how paano natin maiintindihan yung mga cues ng ating katawan, especially when it comes to cravings and emotions. Next question po, I think some of our participants sent their questions anonymously. Any tips po, Miss Grace, on how to make food nutritious on a budget? Mahal po kasi maging healthy, especially nowadays.
Sige. Let's address yung mahal po maging healthy. Sige. Ano yun? On a budget? Tama ba?
Yes po.
Healthy snacking on a budget. Sige, how about, halimbawa ako, I try to practice what I preach. But when I'm on a budget, makikita niyo ko, halimbawa pag pumunta kami sa UP or I live close to a university, at ang usually meron doon ay mga street food, right? Kanina pinakita ko kwek-kwek, banana Q, and they're relatively affordable. Tama ba? Mura pa rin ba? Ang banana Q, tsaka kwek-kwek sa Manila. So those can actually be considered healthy in a sense that banana Q is filling, nakakabusog siya, and it also contains fiber. So it can be nutritious and it is relatively inexpensive. The kwek-kwek naman is what? It's rich in, ano ba yung nasa loob ng kwek-kwek? It's quail egg, di ba? And it's rich in protein. So, put them together, you have now a relatively complete snack kasi may protein, may fiber, may carbohydrate that fills you up, just enough to sustain hanggang mag-dinner. So, siguro, ano pa ba yung mga options natin usually on a budget? I think maybe 7-Eleven or mga convenience stores. Ganito na lang, instead of giving you a list, pwede siguro you think of it as a combination lagi ng protein and a fiber-rich carbohydrate source. So halimbawa, merong a slice of cheese, yung nabibili na isang by pack na relatively affordable, and whole wheat bread. That's somehow relatively affordable na siya. And then pwede yung bagunin when you go to school and we go to the office. So, often kasi baka lang, I'm not sure if it applies to you, pero baka kasi natin iniisip that healthy foods are expensive because we are being affected by what we see on social media, di ba? Pag pinopromote, parang iniisip natin ano nga ba yung healthy na mga pagkain, mga berries, ano pa ba, mga chia seeds, yung mga alam natin na relatively mahal, sometimes you have to buy in bulk, kailangan aesthetic yung pagkakalagay, that naiisip na natin na parang unattainable yung healthy diet. But if we look at yung usual na mga kinakain natin, baka hindi natin nare-realize na yung mga relatively affordable options, they can also be part of an overall healthy diet. So katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, halimbawa, if ang available lang na mabibili mo is, let's say, fishball, for example, at ang fishball is, it's a refined carbohydrates, basically harina, and then fried, deep fried siya, and then yung oil, pwedeng ginamit ay palm oil, which is sometimes associated with hypertension. So sabihin natin na, baka unhealthy. But if yun lang talaga yung available at yun yung kaya ng budget natin at that time, then that can be enough para sa susunod na meal mo, lunch or dinner, you can resort back to eating a more nutritious meal. Okay? So, wag nating pilitin. Halimbawa, kapag may times na tight talaga yung budget natin, we allow ourselves to eat ano muna yung available para sa susunod, kung may in control na tayo, halimbawa medyo nakaluwag-luwag na. And that's the time that we make it a point that we choose the more nutritious option. So maybe it's all in our mind. Maybe lang ha, I don't want to come from out of touch perspective, but lawakan pa natin yung kumbaga yung list natin ng healthy or nutritious food. At baka pagpunta natin sa canteen, pagpunta natin sa kay Manong na nagbebenta ng street food, makita natin, this one is nutritious, or this one is high in protein, this one has fiber. Halimbawa, yung magbubuko, and this one is relatively affordable. Okay?
I think, Miss Grace, allow me to share some insights. I think dito rin po papasok yung nabanggit natin na it's about the overall diet. By the end of the day, it's about the overall diet, not just the individual food that you take on a certain moment of the day. So I think pag nag-snacks tayo something what we think is less nutritious, maybe on the next time na kumain tayo, we try to take or we try to eat what is more nutritious probably so that our overall diet can contribute more rather than the individual food that we take. Okay, thank you, Miss
Yes,
Grace.
I agree. Siguro just to add lang din, siguro isa yung mga nakaka-experience talaga ng mga ganito ay yung mga students, di ba? Na limited yung budget, tapos nakatira pa sila, halimbawa nag-boarding house or nag-dorm. Very challenging nga naman talaga sa kanila yon. But siguro with proper guidance na lang din sa atin. It's good that we are doing this webinar, di ba? With proper guidance from us. And also, usually ito yung lagi kong sinasabi sa mga clients ko, our students. Instead of parang just giving up, na parang tsaka na lang pag graduate na ako, you take this time habang students pa kayo to train yourself while you are in the challenge, to train yourself to eat mindfully, to train yourself to make healthier food options. It's really an effort considering the food environment that we have at the moment. It is an effort, but it is possible. Nandito naman kami na mga ates, kuyas nyo, na mga nutritionist, you can reach out to help guide you through that challenge. And you take this opportunity to train yourself and to practice healthy eating. Kasi I tell you, kapag nagtrabaho na kayo at meron na kayong sweldo, hindi ganun kadali kasi mas may temptation. Kung minsan nga mas nagiging nagkakaroon na ng mga unhealthy lifestyle kapag may trabaho na kasi may pambili ng mga pagkain. So it's a different set of challenge naman. So I hope we don't stop at yung alam mo yun, parang wala akong budget. Kasi halos lahat tayo pinagdadaanan yan. But yun nga, with guidance, with ideas from us, siguro we can figure out how to achieve an overall healthy diet as long as parang instead of nitpicking na we can eat a certain food at a particular time. Ayun.
Thank you, Miss Grace. I think our next question is more related to what happened for the past few days, especially in light with Typhoon Karina. What about your advice po about snacking mindfully in times of disasters?
Yun. In time of disaster, ang priority natin dito ay food security. 'Di ba? So wala na tayo, kumbaga parang medyo step back muna yung mindful snacking or mindful eating. Kasi oftentimes, hindi possible na ang hinahanap ng katawan natin is pagkain to satisfy hunger. Kasi halimbawa, nasa lanta tayo, di ba? Pinaha, yung mga lutuan natin, hindi na gumagana, and nagugutom tayo. And since this is a disaster, which is hopefully naman, hindi talaga siya common dapat na occurrence, then you just accept it. You just allow yourself to eat whatever is available at the moment. Kasi nga, ibang situation to eh. It's a disaster. So wag na natin parang ipilit. Kung hindi pa tayo sanay with mindful eating. Pero if you're someone na nasanay ka na with mindful eating, kasi lagi mong pinapractice yung acceptance, decentering, present moment awareness. If it has become a habit of yours, baka pag nagkaroon ng disaster, it will be a second, parang isa, force by force of habit, ginagawa mo na siya, di ba? Parang lang din, parang pag-toothbrush or pagligo, di ba? Sometimes kahit may disaster yan, parang hindi kailangan ko talaga mag-toothbrush or kailangan ko talaga maligo. It's the same way kapag naging habit na natin yung mga practices na ngayon. So habang halimbawa medyo kung humupa na si Karina, ngayon pa lang practicein na natin para pag nagkaroon tayo ng mga experiences na gano'n, it can be challenging. Anchor tayo dun sa na-develop nating habit. Okay? But if hindi pa, wag nating ipilit kung hindi pa tayo sanay dun sa mindful eating in times of disaster. Kasi ang priority natin is food security.
Thank you, Miss Grace. So the next question po is there really a best time to snack? For example, healthy po ba to eat while studying?
Okay. So best time for snack, I mentioned kanina yung snacking, in the context na sa mga Pinoy it's in between the meals. So halimbawa in between breakfast and lunch or between lunch and dinner or sometimes before we sleep. So yung best time to snack is in between those. Kasi nga we want to, especially for growing sa mga lumalaki, mga bata, sa mga teenagers, even sa mga students, lalo na sa mga halimbawa medyo mataas din ang demand na for nutrients, 'di ba? Yung mga athletes, mga physically active individuals, the best timing or the best time to eat snack is in between your meals. Not close to your meals kasi if you eat close to your meals, mawawalan ka na ng ganang kumain. 'Di ba? For your main meal kasi ang priority pa rin natin is yung main meal kasi it's the thing that we eat together with the family. 'Di ba? Yun yung mga pinaghahandaan, parang yun yung mainstay dapat. And kumbaga parang Batman and Robin. Si Batman yung breakfast, lunch, dinner natin. Si Robin naman yung snacks natin. So parang they complement each other. So that's the best time. And then yung question kanina is how about sa mga students? Is it okay to snack while studying? Yes, of course. Kasi sometimes when we are studying, it helps us, when you are snacking, it helps us be awake, 'di ba? It helps us parang to provide nutrients for our brain, especially for carbohydrates kasi 'di ba parang glucose yun talaga yung main fuel ng brain natin. So, snacking is recommended. However, if you find yourself snacking mindlessly, kasi nga ang focus ng isip mo ay yung inaaral mo, tapos hindi mo na malayan na ubos mo na yung isang bag ng chips, for example. Then, if notice mo lang na ganun, then that's the time that you have to practice mindful snacking. Okay? Kasi just so ma-achieve natin yung moderation na tinatawag. If you notice. Pero kung hindi naman, kung wala namang problem when it comes to overeating, then you are encouraged or you are allowed to eat while you are studying. The only time that you have to really stop, have a break, have a KitKat, diba? Ika nga. to take the time, 10 minutes or 20 minutes is, halimbawa, kapag medyo inaantok-antok ka, then just to have a break from your studying routine, then pwedeng you can do mindful snacking. You take any snack that you are craving for at the moment, and then you practice present moment awareness. But before you do that pala, you again ask yourself, gutom ka ba talaga? Or baka lang naboborlogs ka sa binabasa mo, inaantok, ilang journals na yung binasa mo, or naboborlogs ka na sa ginagawa mo. So kapag if you want something lang to wake you up, then maybe you can consider yung first two exercises, acceptance and decentering, and then you reassess. Kasi again, parang to avoid you into going to that slippery slope of overeating that could lead to, alam mo yung developing unhealthy eating habits.
Okay, thank you, Miss Grace. I think the next question is on a different perspective kasi minsan po pag sinabi nating snacking, most of us will think it will affect our weight in terms of gain, or I mean weight gain. But the next question po is, how about po, instead of weight loss, our aim is to gain weight. Should we do mindful snacking more often, or should we adjust the nutritional content of what we eat instead?
Good question. Kasi oftentimes, pag may mga client or may mga kilala ko na gusto nilang mag-gain ng weight, ang sinasabi ko naman sa kanila is, bilisan mong kumain. Kasi, di ba, it takes around 15 to 20 minutes for our brain para mag-register sa brain natin na busog na tayo. So, parang pag hindi pa umabot, pag mabagal kasi tayong kumain and we're trying to gain weight, ramdam na natin yung busog, pero hindi pa natin nauubos yung dami, yung kailangan na dami ng kailangan natin kainin. So, if you are trying to gain weight, pwedeng hindi mo muna gamitin yung mindful eating kasi nga ang goal natin is to increase the calorie content ng overall diet. So, remember saan nga ba ginagamit yung mindful eating? Ginagamit siya for people na they have mental health disorders that triggers them to eat less nutritious foods. And then, yun yung application ng mindful eating. So, mindful eating is hindi pa talaga siya, kumbaga yung cornerstone, or hindi pa siya yung mainstay na recommendation for addressing mga health problems, like halimbawa, undernutrition, or malnutrition, or mababang weight, halimbawa, or low muscle mass. Hindi siya applicable sa lahat. So I think we have to clarify that na hindi lahat kailangan mag-mindful eating. Hindi lahat kailangan i-practice yung mindful eating. Meron lang siyang, kumbaga, pinipili na application. And yung application ng mindful eating, hindi lang kasi yun. It's just an option among other usually pinapractice namin ng mga nutritionist dietitian. Meron pang ibang, kumbaga, more evidence-based recommendation. Yung mindful eating kasi it's relatively new. Nung nagbasa nga ako ng studies, parang 50-50 siya. In some people, parang medyo conflicting pa yung evidence na kung nakakatulong pa talaga yung mindful eating or not. Ang conclusion lang doon is it may help some, but it might not be helpful to others. So if halimbawa na try mo na yung ibang strategies, dieting, exercise, you might want to try mindful eating. But again, what I want to emphasize is siya para sa lahat. Hindi that because if this is the topic for this session, parang kailangan ko mag-gain ng weight, pero dahil sinabi kasi ni Miss Grace na kailangan mindful eating, kailangan din. But hindi siya, it might not be the best strategy for now, especially na kailangan mo mag-gain ng weight.
Okay, thank you, Miss Grace. I think dito din po talaga papasok yung importance of the nutrition professionals in the field, the dietitian, kasi not all what we see online or what we heard from someone might apply to us. So sabi nga nila, a certain diet or certain approach is not fit or not applicable for everyone. Ayan. So thank you, Ms.
Yes,
Grace.
thank you so much then, UPOU. Thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to share my perspective on this particular topic. Thank you po.
Thank you to our speaker, Ms. Grace, for your wonderful talk this morning. Okay, so we would like to reiterate our thanks to our speaker for her presence this morning. We would also like to thank our participants for attending and engaging in our discussion. We sincerely hope that we have instilled in you important lessons and knowledge about mindful snacking. Okay, this has been Jess. Thank you, and always remember, you are more than what you eat. Bye!